Think about the digital world for a second. It's this vast, invisible space with countless connections, servers, and devices. But how do you actually create a map of a place you can't even see? How do you figure out what's running, who's there, and which doors might be unlocked? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dive into. This is a huge question for pretty much anyone in tech, whether you're a network admin or a cybersecurity pro. You just have to see the landscape before you can even think about securing it. So how do you actually do it? How do you pull back that curtain?
Well, it all starts with a simple idea, a scan. You have to investigate. You send out these little digital feelers, you knock on a few doors, and you just listen to see who or what answers back. This whole process, this digital reconnaissance, is the absolute key to understanding any network.
Okay, so to do this kind of digital detective work, you need the right tools. And in the world of network scanning, there's this legendary pair that works together. One is the raw powerhouse, and the other is its visual sidekick.
All right, first up, we have Nmap, which stands for Network Mapper. This thing is the absolute workhorse. It's a command line tool that's been the go-to for decades. It's what the pros use to find devices, check for open ports, and figure out exactly what services are running on them. But hey, let's be real, not everyone is a command line wizard, right? And sometimes you need to show your findings in a way that people can actually understand. That's where Zenmap comes in. It's the official graphical user interface, or GUI, for Nmap. It takes all that powerful data and just makes it, well, easy to see and work with.
So here's the best way to think about it. Nmap is like the high-performance engine of a race car. It's got all the raw power. Zenmap, on the other hand, is the dashboard. It's the speedometer, the GPS, all the controls that make driving that powerful engine a piece of cake.
And this shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Over on the left, you've got that raw, powerful text output from Nmap. It's dense, it's fast. And on the right, Zenmap takes that exact same information and just beautifully organizes it into tabs, lists, and even diagrams. Same data, totally different experience. So you're probably wondering, how does Nmap actually do all this? What's going on under the hood when you hit enter? It all breaks down into a few key stages. It's actually a pretty logical step-by-step process. First, host discovery. It's kind of like walking down a street and just seeing which houses have their lights on. Then, port scanning. For those active devices, it checks all the doors and windows to see what's open, closed, or maybe blocked by a firewall. Third, service and version detection. It peeks inside those open windows to see what's running, like a web server. Fourth, OS detection, where it uses some clever tricks to guess the operating system. And finally, it can run powerful scripts with NSC to do all sorts of advanced stuff, like hunting for vulnerabilities. Okay, let's zoom in on that port scanning step, because this is where things get really clever. Nmap has different ways of knocking on those doors. The SYNSCAN, or -S, is the default for a reason. It's sneaky. It's like a knock and run. It starts to connect, but never finishes, making it hard to detect. The TCP Connect scan, -S, is louder because it completes the connection, but it's also very reliable. Then you have scans for other things like UDP, and even specialized scans like the ACK scan, which is fantastic for figuring out a firewall's rules. And this right here, this is what takes Nmap from just a simple map maker to a full-on security powerhouse. The Nmap scripting engine, or NSE, is a total game changer. With it, you can run scripts that actively check for known vulnerabilities, try simple password attacks, detect malware. It just elevates Nmap to a whole other level. It's an absolutely essential tool. Okay, so Nmap is super versatile. You can run it almost anywhere. But does it work the same on every system? Let's take a quick look at how it behaves on the big three: macOS, Linux, and Windows. Let's start with macOS. On a Mac, Nmap feels totally at home. Because macOS has that Unix core, Nmap runs perfectly, right in the terminal with all its power. This makes it a great choice for developers and anyone running a security lab on their MacBook. But if Nmap is at home on macOS, then Linux? Well, Linux is its birthplace. This is where Nmap really truly shines, especially on a security-focused system like Kali Linux. On Linux, Nmap gets full, unrestricted access to craft the raw network packets it needs for its most advanced scans. It has maximum control. Now what about Windows? Yep, Nmap absolutely works on Windows, but there are a couple of catches. To get full power, you need to install a special driver called NCAP, and you'll also need to run it with administrator rights. So it's perfectly capable, especially for scanning in a corporate setting, but there are a few extra hoops to jump through.
So let's just quickly wrap this part up. For labs and pen testing, macOS and Linux are fantastic, giving you the full experience. Windows is very capable too. Just remember you'll need those admin rights for the really powerful features. The bottom line is, no matter what machine you're on, Nmap has got you covered.
Okay, we've talked about the what and the how, but what about the why? Why is this one tool so dominant even after all these years? Let's talk about its massive impact on the world of cybersecurity.
You can think of Nmap as a triple threat in the cyber world. For ethical hackers, it's one of the first tools they use to map out a target. For vulnerability assessments, it's used to find weak spots like old software. And for the defenders, the blue teams, it's an amazing tool for auditing their own networks to make sure their defenses are actually working. And if you need any more proof of how crucial this tool is, just look at the certifications. Security Plus, Network Plus, Certified Ethical Hacker, the super tough OSCP, they all require you to know Nmap. Seriously, it's non-negotiable. It's that foundational.
All right, so if you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this simple idea. Nmap is the powerful command line engine that does all the heavy lifting, and Zenmap is its friendly dashboard, perfect for learning, visualizing, and reporting.
Look, every single device on your network is constantly talking, sending out signals about what it is and what it's doing. With a tool like Nmap, you can finally start to understand that language. The real question is, are you listening?